This is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and frankly, I would be stunned if this is your first time ever seeing this book. Atomic Habits is a prereq to most self-help circles and corners of the internet. It seems like everybody who's interested in self-improvement has read this book at least twice. After hearing about it so much, I recently had to pick it up, and I'm so thankful that I did. And today I'm applying everything that I've learned from Atomic Habits to my New Year's resolutions, which is to lose weight. This opening page of Atomic Habits supplies two different definitions of atomic and one for habit. It can mean one, an extremely small amount of a thing, the single irreducible unit of a larger system, or the source of immense energy or power. How about both? And that thought is what we are running with today. The truth about motivation is that it's fleeting, it's an emotion, and it should not be used as the primary source to power through a difficult task. Instead, I believe that someone should start really, really small and take baby steps into tackling a bigger project. So in the weight loss realm, I think a lot of people try an overnight approach where suddenly Monday, January 1st, both of which are today, they try to immediately go 1,000,000 miles a minute and slam into a diet, slam into a caloric deficit, work out a ton, and it just doesn't last that long. I have been there so many times before today. I've said it before, but honestly, it feels like I've had like 1,000 day ones. But I realized recently my diets haven't really been all that different because they all start the same. They start at a full sprint. But weight loss is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you need to warm up into it. Although it feels like I've given this countless attempts before, the truth is I've just been doing different variations of the same exact thing. And I can't keep doing this to myself. I can't keep failing this way. It's so hard to constantly let yourself down. And at a certain point, you begin to run out of that belief that things could finally be different because that's the same thought that you had last time. I just end up feeling like I'm crazy for never being able to stick with it. And I hate that feeling. This kind of diet, lifestyle, Groundhog Day hell is just not the kind of life that I want to lead. And it doesn't build my confidence. If anything, it just continuously destroys it. And for that reason, I'm turning to an expert, James Clear, to hopefully guide myself out of this. The 4 laws to starting a good habit are make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. The first step of making it obvious is to track your habits. Clear recommends a scorecard to keep track of everything that you do daily, and I went ahead and created my own custom bullet journal. Here are a couple basic hygiene trackers like washing my face, hair care, brushing my teeth, and flossing. Over here is the sleep tracker, and over here is different meds that I take. I have a spot for an evening and a morning routine, and also a caffeine taper. The next couple pages are going to be filled with step trackers, calorie, and macro trackers. This way, at the end of the day, I can always see how much I did and track my progress visually, something that will come back later. The second recommendation to making a habit obvious is to set extremely clear intentions. An example of a weak intention would be something like, I want to work out more. That is not specific enough at all. Clear recommends using this format. I will, behavior, at, time, in, location. For example, I will walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes at 7 a.m. in my apartment gym. This is extremely specific and it takes all the guesswork out of, well, when are you going to do it? How long are you going to do it? What day of the week are you going to do it? It breaks down that decision fatigue that a lot of people face every single day when they have to keep deciding between a good habit or a bad one. This takes care of that long before the day actually comes. Another one that I'm going to be implementing is I will plan my meals for the week every Sunday at 10 a.m. in this nook. It is hugely important for me to know what I'm going to eat each day. It is a huge determining factor in how my calories and macros come out by the end of the day. The third recommendation to making a new habit obvious is to pair it with an old one. So after your current habit, you will do the new habit. For example, after I cuddle my cat in the morning, I will immediately put on my clothes for working out. Every morning, Bunny and I have an adorable cuddle session. That is already part of our morning routine. Since I have that current habit so solidified, it will make it much easier to cue myself into the next habit by always going to put my workout clothes after I get done cuddling her. The fourth piece of advice for making it obvious is to design your environment. Make a good habit obvious and visible. This could mean something like always having your gym handbag packed and put next to the door. For me, this could mean always having my recipe book on my bedside table, or my new addition, a stepping pad beneath my standing desk. The second law of good habit formation is to make it attractive. Part 1 is temptation building. Pair what you want to do with something you need to do. So, of course, I always want to see my friends. Tomorrow, when I host my friend Kayleen, shout out Kayleen, I'm going to have us cook a meal at home. This way I can track my calories, see what all is going into the dish, and I get to hang out with her. Part 2 is to join a community. For me, I have been a long-time lurker of the Lose It subreddit, but now I can recruit some people in real life. Just a few days ago, my dad was talking about how much he wanted to lose weight, and I suggested that we send each other screenshots of our calories and our steps at the end of every day. And now I have an accountability buddy. The third part of making a new habit attractive is a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy before doing a difficult habit. I plan to bribe myself to lift weights in the evening by giving myself a 20-minute guilt-free sim session. The third law to making something easy is to reduce friction or the number of steps between yourself and the good habit. This is where starting small gets serious. I am not about to go sign myself up for a 5K. I can barely get myself to go to the gym that I pay a monthly fee for to work out. Dare I admit that walking 3 minutes to my apartment gym is sometimes just as much of a battle. To reduce friction between me and getting my steps in, I invested in a stepping pad. Now I just have to get it out from under my couch. It takes less than a minute. But a bigger part of this step that we can't ignore is to make the first step super small. Instead of expecting myself to work out 5 times a week for 45 minutes, every single week, I start with something a little bit more realistic, twice a week for 30 minutes. That's already an hour more than I would have otherwise done, which would be none. The second part of this is to prime your environment to make future actions easier. Something super simple for me that has actually made quite a difference is having my socks share the same drawer as my workout clothes. Every day I have to get my socks, and it's an easy reminder, an easy enough swap to put on some athletic wear. And this simple swap can snowball into the rest of my day. I'm way less likely to get self-conscious about being sweaty if I'm already dressed in athletic gear. Part 3 is the 2-minute rule. Downscale your habits until they can be completed in 2 minutes or less. This could even mean setting aside 60 seconds for a plank at some time in your evening. You can set an alarm on your phone for this. Or if you're like me and one of your hurdles to working out more is keeping up with your hygiene, have alarms set on your phone for when you do laundry, when you wash your face. If these small steps make the difference between you comfortably working out or avoiding it, then it's worth it. Part 4 of making a habit easy is automate. Invest in a one-time purchase to lock in future behavior. For me, this meant buying insulated water bottles. Another one coming up for me here soon is going to be new running shoes. The fourth and final principle is to make it satisfying. Part 1 is give an immediate reward for completing a habit. This can be something as minor as just checking it off of your to-do list. The second piece of advice is to give avoiding a bad habit a benefit. In this one, you might have to look at your foundational reasons why you want to lose weight. Maybe keep a notes app in your phone of all the reasons why you want to lose weight. That way, every night when you don't eat chips and candy or whatever other bad habit you're trying to break, you can read that list and have the benefit of reinforcing your reasons for why you want to lose weight. The third part of making it satisfying is to have your habit tracker show a chain and try not to break that streak. With that immediate reward that you are getting from checking it off your list, keep tracking those habits every single time that you do it, and then you won't want to break the chain. The fourth and final piece of advice is to never miss twice. Even if you mess up one day, get back on it the next day. Don't break the chain 2 days in a row. The diet industry promises things like lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and if for some reason you don't, it's because of you. Nothing wrong with the plan, it's just you don't have the willpower or you don't have the character to see it through. That kind of unhealthy promise and toxic mindset is the reason why people quit weight loss. The truth is, weight loss should be way easier than what it is. We all would be much better off if we approached things a little bit more realistically and took far smaller steps. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Make small, consistent, realistic changes and the rest will come. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next Motivation Monday. Ciao for now.